Alright everybody, let's see how it goes this time. Doubt there's going to be many people here because my channel's been pretty dead, so yeah. Thank you for the like, whatever that is. But you know, yeah, so go about going with the flow. Like, someone was saying about can be hard to take your own advice sometimes. Like, 'cause I was asking people what kind of content they wanted to see. I was doing that as a poll thing, but yeah, I was kind of like trying to find out like what content I should focus more on. But then at the same time, it's like I should just be doing what I want to do. Fuck what everyone else wants me to do. You know, it's like if I don't want to do it, then I don't have to do it. You know, it's like I'm not here to try and just please everybody, because that'll just end up making me miserable. And if I feel like I'm having to make content I don't really want to be doing, then it's like,
well done.
You know, then it's like then I wouldn't enjoy it, would I? You know, I have to enjoy what I'm doing, and the right people will be here, and that's what matters, even if it's only a small amount. So yeah, I've got people who support me, so just focus on that really. Maybe I need to try and network a bit more, and I don't know, just get my name out there a bit more. But I don't know, just try and show up to more places and just get my name out. It'd be good if I could try and get some other people on it, like get some guests on. I would probably get Yogi on, but like, I don't know if that's gonna work. Hi Emily, welcome back. I thought you were off for now. I just restarted because it was dead, so I haven't been able to use the other equipment because, again, there was people using it, so yeah, so I was like, okay then, I'll just use the other equipment when I get home, later on this evening probably. Just walking through this kind of bit of a wooded area now that we're at, so yeah. But yeah, just, I don't know. It is what it is, but thank you for the likes, everybody. It did say I had 21 people watching earlier at one point on one of the lives, so maybe the views are going up a bit, I don't know. It's hard to really tell, but yeah, you know, just gotta keep going, I guess. I'd rather put more energy into this platform because it's like with, you know, monetization and stuff, and I'm hoping that my videos are going to start to get more views over time, and that'll then result in more revenue and all that. Because you have to be getting like thousands of views per video for it to really make much of a difference. Because otherwise you're just kind of like barely going to be making anything. I mean, some of them actually, yeah, like on average it's probably like, yeah, it's like a few pence per video basically. But you know, I guess it's better than smack on the, you know, smack it on the face or something. Anyway, tap your screens up, everybody. So yeah, just you know, whatever. Might try and get a video out later, and we'll see. I keep saying that and I don't do it. I need to stop saying I'm going to do stuff and then don't do it. That's something I have an issue with, where I'll just be like, oh yeah, I'm going to do this, and then people are like, oh, you said you were going to do it, and you're not doing it. Huh. I need to just stick to my own words, you know. If I say I'm going to do something, then fucking do it, you know. Or just don't say it then. This is what I mean. I annoy myself sometimes as well. It's like, why do I have to keep doing this shit, you know? Why do I have to keep saying I'm going to do something and then I don't do it? I don't know. I don't know why I do that. It's like, I like to believe that I'm going to do it, but then when it comes around to it, it's like, oh, I just don't have the motivation or whatever. But yeah, is everybody okay then? Hope you're all having a good day today. Got 7 people watching. Hello everybody, hope you're all well. Can you maybe say hello or something if you want to introduce yourselves or something? But oh, hello Pedro. Hang on, Pedro. Wait a sec. Have you changed your name? What's going on? If I don't feel like doing something, I won't do it. Yeah, that's right. It says Pedro said hi. But it's got the thing like Emily has. So is Pedro the same person as Emily? What's going on here? Or is that somebody else? I know there was somebody else that became a member. Who else was it called? Can't remember the name. It was like, but I know Coco became a member. Not Coco, Cece. I don't know why I call it Coco. Coco. I know, it's just like, I guess it's kind of similar, but CC. Yeah, that's what I'm like, Vic. Yeah, I'm glad that someone else is like that as well, because I'm definitely like that, where the more someone tries to tell me to do something, the more I don't want to do it. It's like, I remember when people kept telling me to get my hair cut, then I would not do it out of defiance. I can be very defiant. Some say it's like a condition or something, and I'm like, I don't know. People want to label everything as some kind of condition nowadays, don't they? I'm like, to me it's like, you know, if I don't want to do something, I'm not gonna fucking do it, you know. And by you trying to have some like authority over me, then it's just gonna lead me to, it's the whole thing of, you know, you try and push me, I'll push back. You know, that's what I'm like. So if you want me to do something, then there's a way to do it that's not pushy or anything like that. There's a way of suggesting and being like subtle about things, and not trying to, you know, not trying to kind of impose your will on somebody. So yeah, I do not like that at all. It's like, it makes me feel kind of violated and kind of, you know what I mean? Might sound a bit, but it is though, because someone's trying to impose their will, trying to tell you how you should live your life, you know? And well, I suppose we've all been guilty of maybe doing that at some point, but we have to be careful what we say to people. And oh, you became a member yesterday. Oh, really? Hang on. Pedro. Is another member or something? Pedro. I don't know. It doesn't ring any bell. Pedro. So, yeah. I'll have to check. How many members have we got now? Yeah, look, it's like all flood kind of round here. It's like formed into lakes now, guys. It does that sometimes down here, but yeah. Yeah, when the river like gets high and it's yeah, it all gets a bit flooded. Exactly, manipulation. Yeah, exactly. It's just, like I said, I feel violated when people try and push their will, but then but then they'll make out like there's something wrong with you when you rebel against it. People try and make rebellion into some kind of disorder. This is how they gaslight public into just, look at this, guys. That is not meant to be a there. Look at that. Look, that's all flooded. That is not meant to be like that. Yeah? Look at that, guys. I mean, I remember one year there was like friggin' swans swimming in it and stuff. Yeah, it's like literally lakes have formed. It's that. Yeah, but it gets way worse than that. This whole thing would be flooded in winter, all the way up to where I'm standing. But yeah, how are you doing anyway, Pedro? Yeah, it's not the same person as Emily then, is it? Pedro. Pedro is like a Spanish name, isn't it? It's like for Peter. So you've got like Pedro's the Spanish one, and like Pierre is French, and I think is it Pietro is Italian, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, people get really annoying, and just like the way that people will try and push you and try to manipulate you and try and get you to do what they want you to do. Because it happened like when I was living at home, and yeah, Pedro in Spanish, yeah. When they were trying to like guilt trip me, well, she was trying to guilt trip me into taking the poke in the arm. And that would even make me even less want to do it, because you're trying to manipulate me, I remember one day they were saying something like, oh, if you won't get it, because you won't get it, this is what they were trying to do, say like, oh, you can't come round to, we could have like had the barbecue or something. I'm like, well, and I was saying on my live once the other year, and I was like, yeah, but why did you come round to my place then, if you was afraid of catching the CV virus thing, you know? But then, and I was like, with my dad, and he was like, oh, it's because, you know, she was like wearing a mask or something like that. But the thing is, he wasn't wearing a mask as far as I remember. So, you know, there's a chance that he could have caught it and passed it on. It's like, these things don't even prevent transmission anyway. So, and it's like she was at my like birthday party, and we were like go, you know, kind of without any of these masks on and stuff, and sat down and potentially catching stuff. So what are you even on about? You know, it's really fucking annoying. That's probably there anymore because I couldn't be doing with that kind of stuff. I'm like, okay, well maybe unfortunately, I don't know if I'd be able to live somewhere like that if that's the kind of stuff that would happen. I remember I tried going to the shop once on my own, and then I told them that I'd been, so I wanted to just go pick something up from like, get some food from the shop. And then they were like, oh, you can't do that. So I had to just let my dad just go and get shopping for me, which was like probably weekly or something. So I had to just kind of rely on whatever was in. It was not a good time, because I just didn't really have a lot of freedom, and they were just she was just trying to, you know, say, oh, well, you can't do this, you can't do that. You know, for a while, she didn't even really let me go out the house to go for a walk even for a while, hardly. It was just a fucking nightmare. It was a horrible time. So yeah, it's just, but the thing is that, you know, they got the fucking, she had some fucking jabs and then still got it, you know. She's had it a few times now apparently, so makes you think, you know, if these things really fucking work, then why does she keep fucking getting it then? You know? Yeah, I got it like before, was it? I got it in November 2020, but the, yeah, it was just like, yeah, I got a bit sick with it, but you know, it was, I've had worse sicknesses before than that, you know? I think I was worse when I had the flu back in 2006 when I was like off school with it. I was like, got sent home. I had to like, yeah, I was really sick for a few days with that. I also had some gastric flu like a few months before that as well, and I was really sick with that. So, I mean, it was just like, there was all a bunch of gaslighting and shit, you know? Trying to like, you know, make you fear for your life and shame you if you're not doing what you're supposed to do. Like, oh, if you don't wear a mask, then you're a super spreader. And if you go into like these events, then you're a super spreader. And if you're not wearing masks or whatever, it's like, just shut the fuck up, you know? It's just like, yeah, that shit was like 5 years ago now. It's just mad how time seems to have sped up since 2020, doesn't it? A lot of people are feeling the same kind of feelings about it. That, yeah, MERS I heard was really, really bad. MERS and SARS were some of the worst viruses out there. But yeah, it sounds rough, that stuff. But yeah, I had some like nasty viruses back when I was in school and stuff, but yeah, some of that stuff were worse than what I had when I had the CV. I remember like I was off school a few times with different bugs and stuff, so yeah. It's just one of those things that just people get all kind of crazy over things like that, you know. And yeah, I get she has that and she gets really sick sometimes, but that doesn't mean that other people should have to like, you know, be forced into certain things. There's probably not going to really do anything for you anyway. The funny thing is that I don't think I've had the virus since. I've had some like colds and things like that, random bits of cold here and there, but I've not really had anything so bad since then. I've just been kind of, you know, I think I've built up an immunity to it. It's just funny how a lot of the people who've taken these injections and a lot of them seem to be the ones getting sick, you know? The irony. I'm not saying that that's causing people to get sick, but I think people really need to prioritize their immune systems and stuff like that. And of course, some people have underlying illnesses and things like that and they struggle, but I think that a lot of people are, you know, could probably do more to like help themselves. But yeah, we made it through. It's like we made it through the apocalypse, didn't we, you know? Yeah, people acting like it's the plague, like it's the bubonic plague or the Black Death or something, you know? That's what people act like. Crazy, isn't it? 50-50 for the shot 97.3 virus. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like a lot of people got really like bad with the, like even my dad had to stop after the second one because he said he had flu-like symptoms after the second jab. I mean, that's just kind of like, and then they both stopped after the second one. They might say, oh, it's because they didn't get the booster and that's why they kept getting sick. But even a lot of the people that took the fucking booster still got the infection, because by the time they get the booster, and it's going to keep mutating. Like that's what viruses do, flu, colds, whatever. Coronavirus is actually a type of common cold. it's like, it's just a new strain of a common cold. And it's like you know, they basically have, you know, like, if it's a new virus, then it's like, you know, then it's going to make people, it's going to be kind of like similar to like, I would compare it to like RSV in a sense where it can be bad to say like certain groups of the population at first, and then like, but it seems to have kind of just mellowed down a bit as like kind of yeah, RSV is like in the family of like common cold virus. But it can be severe for certain groups of people. Like it can cause some like pneumonia in certain people. Same with like influenza. So these viruses can be bad for certain groups of people, but you know, it's like we don't shut down the whole world for it. 48 days later. That sounds like the name of a film. Like 28 days later. Has anyone ever seen that? What do you mean 48 days later? My son had already like 30 times in like first 5 years of his life requiring hospitalizations every time. Yeah, I've heard it can be quite bad for children and elderly adults and stuff. But they do need to build up an immunity to it. But what they should have done with the CV is let the healthy people build up an immunity to it, and then and kind of quarantine some of the older and more vulnerable people. That would have made some more sense. But in fact, the Oxford University tried to like do that, but then the government tried to go against that, and because they had their other ones, the Imperial College, which have some, I think they have some vested interests or something to like, you know, you got to look at what the, you know, who's actually funding all this. You had stuff like Serco involved and whatever, you know, with these, you know, there's all these like big corporations that get involved in, you know, who's really behind it all. It all seems to be a big conspiracy of people like you look at the corporations, how they made a ton of money off fucking, you know, small businesses shutting down. And it's like, look at, for example, Weatherspoons, right? They took over a lot of pubs, didn't they? Pubs having to shut down to then, you know, surrender to fucking the corporate giants, you know? It was funny how like the left never seemed to kind of care about any of that stuff, even though they're supposed to be about looking out for the little man, the ones with the small businesses, the ones that are struggling, you know. They never give a fuck about them when it comes to that, do they? You know, it just shows you how much hypocritical they are. Yeah, Trump's, you know, I mean, they're all to blame, really. I think they're just, but zombie movie, yeah, it was like a horror, wasn't it? Something. I haven't really seen it, but I just know the, you know, the theme from 28 Days Later. That was quite an iconic theme. You know, the one that goes dun 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 dun. It just sounds very kind of like, yeah, it's got that kind of ominous kind of haunting sound to it, hasn't it? You know, it's like it really fits with the movie, doesn't it? Like that tune. Yeah. You hear it a lot on like TV and stuff. Yeah. It's kind of like that song, what is it? Club to Death off The Matrix. It's got that kind of cinematic kind of sound to it. And it has a bit of like that kind of ominous feel to it as well, I guess you could say. Oh yeah, I was talking about this whole thing about like, you know, speaking of creepy things and like, I don't know if you could call that one ominous, but it was like, or creepy or whatever, but I was looking into this thing called liminal spaces. I'm based in England too, right? In about, which one you talking about? Liminal spaces. Like, things like the back rooms. Have you ever seen back rooms? And it's like this thing of like, when something's like empty when it's supposed to be like filled out. Like for example, empty hotels and things like that. With just like haunting feel to it. Think back to The Shining. You know, these are like transitional spaces, like these, what they call threshold spaces. Where it's like you're kind of in between sort of, they're like these in-between spaces that people tend to not really hang around too long in. They tend to kind of just, like for example, petrol stations or garages, whatever you want to call them, where it's like people would just stop there, get some petrol, then move on. But it's when you're in the out of its normal context at 3 a.m, let's say, there's something kind of haunting about it. It's the loneliness of it, I think, is the thing where there's normally people there, but when there isn't, that's what makes it that kind of, you know, like scary kind of thing. Oh, Spain alone. Are you on about what's it called? Spidey something, whatever it's called. Is that the one you're on about? There was this guy who was like 15 years old, and he was like, I don't know if that's the one you're talking about. And he was only apparently about 15 years old when he became homeless. Is that the guy you're on about? And he ended up in a mental hospital or something. Because there was this guy called Spidey, I think he was called, and the guy was complete nuts. I think he had a lot of issues, like, and then he took drugs which just like exacerbated his issues. So I don't know if that's the one you're on about, but apparently he was on TikTok doing all these stuff to get like clout and stuff, I think. There's a lot of people do crazy things to get clout, don't they? You know? It's like, I saw this thing about like, what is it called? Some North Sentinel Island. And there was like this tribe there. And it's like it's forbidden to go there, like basically, like if you go there then you can end up getting, basically you can basically get shot with an arrow or something, killed. Like you think you just get shot because they protect their land, because it's like a tribal thing. It's like probably to stop anyone from like trying to, you know, invade it. So it's like, yeah, but they would try and go there just for the clout because they're doing something forbidden. But it just ended up, they ended up getting caught when they got back. It's just stupid. This is the thing, when people do things they shouldn't be doing, and then it will eventually catch up to you, you know. You will eventually get caught and something bad's going to happen. These like nonsense and whatever, and they think they can get away with it, but a lot of the times it's not so fortunate, you know. They get so cocky and all that, and they think they can do anything until they get caught, you know. So just be careful what you're doing, you know, because things will come to bite you on the ass one day, you know. You should not be you will get cooked, you know. You will get cooked for sure. Yeah, karma's a bitch. Things will happen, whether it's police or whether somebody finds out, and then who knows what could happen. Again, it goes back to the whole thing of even when people lie and just be deceptive. Even that to me is like wrong, and it's just be a good fucking person, you know. You don't need to lie about things and what have you. But people want that instant gratification, and they're afraid of telling the truth or whatever, you know. So people either do things for pleasure or to avoid pain. That's the motivation behind it does usually, either for pleasure or to avoid pain or any kind of discomfort, whether that's emotional discomfort or physical. Or your religion. Yeah, I'm not into religion, but I could just more see it as like a kind of, you know, more of just an energy thing. You put out negative energy, you get negative energy. You sort of are a reflection of the energy that you put out, kind of thing. You will attract that vibe. So if you want positivity in your life, then you need to emit that frequency. So it could just be more of like a kind of energetic thing, maybe like a quantum level or something like that. I don't need to feel like I need to bring religion into it. It could just be, that's just how the universe works. I don't need to try and explain that with some kind of God of the gaps or anything. It could just be that's just how it works. That's just nature. But I understand there is big questions like the consciousness. They call it the hard question of consciousness. Like, as in terms of how it even comes about. How does a material thing become aware of itself? You know, to have those subjective experiences. You could never explain what the colour red is like to someone born blind. There's what called qualia, and it's something very subjective, and it makes you think that this reality is there's things beyond our comprehension. Scientists can be a bit kind of dogmatic and even egotistical at times, acting like they know everything, but in reality, you know, I'm not saying that every scientist is like that. There are some good ones out there, but a lot of the ones that are trying to prop themselves up as some expert, then they just have this ego and they're oh no, there is no soul or anything like that. I mean, there could be a soul, but then it doesn't prove the existence of God even, because, and what we mean by God, it comes down to like, you know, what do you believe in really, but it's just, everyone's got their own perspectives on these things. Raise your frequency. Yeah, I mean, some people think of God as like the, basically like what you call like collective consciousness. And some people think of like consciousness as, if we think of like different dimensions and things like that, and how in a higher dimension that we could all be one, basically, because when we're looking at ourselves, imagine that it's all like a mirror image of ourselves in some way. It might be a crazy thing to think of, but so when we see bad in the world, it's something that's reflected potentially. Whatever we're seeing, it's all a projection or reflection of who we are. That all these things that we experience, it's all an internal experience that we have. And nothing outside of ourselves can really be truly proven. So this is getting deep now. It's even getting into theories like solipsism, and I'm not saying I believe in it completely, but it could be like, in terms of consciousness as this sort of like this infinite thing, but it's like, but we're just experiencing a small fraction of it. And when we see other beings, that's actually just us, but it could be in a different life or something. It could be another dimension. it could be a portal into another dimension where we exist in another timeline or something like that. Yeah, because well, it could be nice to be religious, but so we had someone called Pedro, and I didn't even notice. Apparently, they became a member yesterday, so I need to do a shout out video for members, actually. So, but yeah, so what I'm saying is like, yeah, we don't know for sure what's going on in this universe. There's a lot of unanswered questions. I don't want to act like I know everything, because I used to be very like atheistic, and I say now that I don't really go by any labels. I just kind of, I am that I am. That is all I'm going to say. I am. You know, I can't really say anything other than that, because I don't want to like put myself into some kind of box. Different people can put transcends anything, that any kind of limitations of labels and things like that. So I don't really like to go about autism too much, because I find it can be a bit putting you into this box of like, oh well, if you're this way, then therefore you must be such and such. You know, it's like I refuse to limit myself. So we can have certain tendencies. You know, there's a difference.